Fear gets to the best of us, whether it's a fear of failure, a fear of success, or even a fear of fear. All of us have experienced fear at some point in our lives, and it can be a real stumbling block that holds us back from being truly successful and happy.
Fear can't hold you back forever though if you don't let it. There are several ways to overcome fear. In this episode, we're going to share our 12 tips to stop letting fear stop you. Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Mentors with me, James.
And me, Claire. Well, we've had a couple of weeks break.
We've had a 2-week break. Apologies, liesners, but we just needed some downtime.
Apologies, but not apologies. We've been doing this for over 3 years. Yeah, 3 and a bit years. So I think we had a few bigger breaks early on, but
we did seasons to start with, didn't we? We had season 1, season 2, and then we just rolling.
Yeah, now we're still on season 3, which has been going for about a year and a half, 2 years. But so we're back, and today we are talking about 12 ways to stop letting fear stop you. And we're so excited to talk about this. We love this stuff.
We are, and we think this is particularly relevant in the world at the moment because we're sensing that there's quite a lot of fear, anxiety, uncertainty around in the world. Speaking to different people, speaking to clients, speaking to other coaches. I think there's obviously, at the moment, there's quite a lot of what could be framed as negative news out there.
My
and I think
goodness,
it's starting to affect people.
So much. And it's a collective fear as well. So one of the things we were talking about with our business coach last night on a group call was it might not even just be your fear. We're energetic beings. So actually we're feeling the collective energy and the collective fear or uncertainty of everyone. So, but what we wanted to do is give you 12 tips, 12 ways to stop letting fear stop you. But
12 practical tips. Before we do that, you're going to say, what have we been up to, Claire?
What have we been up to?
We've had the most exciting time. We actually took some time out, kind of.
Yeah, I still worked.
We went down to the lovely seaside town of Hastings. So UK listeners might know it. Overseas listeners won't. It's obviously where William the Conqueror landed in 1066. And defeated Harold with an arrow in the eye and shaped modern Britain, I guess.
It did.
Because we went from an Anglo-Saxon to a Norman culture and laws. And
it's
there's
very
still a castle
witch.
there.
Oh my goodness, it's so pagan and witchy, and it's all amazing. I love it. There's Tudor 15th century Tudor buildings there, and very spirited, very, very amazing, very energetic. So absolutely loved that. And obviously went for a swim in the sea every morning.
It's got a lovely shingle beach, but at low tide you get some sand as well. So every morning we get up, throwing ourselves into the English Channel. And it's home to the largest beach-launched commercial fishing fleet in the UK. So you see actually quite small fishing boats, but they get dragged in and out by tractors and things.
Really lovely.
It was great. We had a great time down there. And then we've just been, I guess, throwing ourselves back into work, making plans, exciting plans for August and September.
Lots of plans.
Nothing we can reveal yet, but lots stirring in the pot.
Yeah, but also for August, it's my birthday month. Whoop, whoop.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
What day's
James.
your birthday?
You did actually forget it. Early on in our relationship.
I've never forgotten your birthday.
No, you forgot the year.
Well, I didn't know.
You actually, you made me older.
Early on, I didn't know if you were a stayer. I didn't know if you were a keeper or not.
We are going to go into the tips in a minute. We're just having a bit of banter, clearly. But he has forgotten my birthday a few times. So yes, it's my birthday month. And August, actually, do you know what? I've made August self-care for Claire. I've labelled it
self-care, you should call it.
Self-care for Claire.
Self-care.
Yes, but I'm going to be doing lots of things that really nurture my soul. So that's really exciting. It's all about the balance, isn't it? We've worked super, super, super hard since early April, and I just feel like because it's my birthday month and actually everyone else is on holiday, I might actually take a little bit of time for myself.
I know, you should. Actually, that's something that really resonates. So we took a little break and then we came back and we were like, okay, like what do we want to achieve in August? And we really like sat down, planned some personal goals. We started new workout routines, taken up some new activities, set some new business goals. And I wrote a little post about that. It seemed to really resonate with people. It is really good to sit every month and figure out what do I want to get from this month. So if you haven't done that yet, do it for August.
Do it. Do.
And of course, making those decisions to go for goals, part of something you're going to come up against is the fear that comes from moving out of your comfort zone.
Oh, give us fear.
Oh dear.
So, it is something that every single person experiences, even if they don't say that they do. It's something that we cannot avoid. None of us are immune to fear. And whether it's that fear of failure, fear of success, because that's one as well. We have a fear of success. What does that look like? Who might we need to become?
Scared of success.
Yeah,
that is all tied into our limiting beliefs, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It's one that I work through a lot. Fear of success, fear of what I will become, fear of being seen and heard in all of our glory. It's a really common one. Or even fearing fear, like that. There's a whole thing about, fear is bad. Actually, fear isn't. Well, we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but fear isn't necessarily bad. It's just a signal to you about something that needs to be looked at and needs to be soothed and overcome, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason for doing this was like, let's be realistic here. Fear is going to be always a player in your life, no matter what. So it's about learning to dance with it and get the results you want to get, because we're never going to eliminate fear and we shouldn't seek to eliminate it, but it's about recognising it, accepting it, and then deciding how we work with it.
Yeah, and I would say it is really sad, because sometimes fear can make us so inert, and it can be debilitating. It can be debilitating. It just stop us in our tracks. And we're going to talk about this in a little bit more, but we over catastrophize things, right? So we're using our imagination, kind of this beautiful thing we have, which is our imagination, which sets us apart as a human race. But we're using our imagination not in a very good way. So we're over catastrophizing, we're worrying about what could happen, and that just stops us dead in our tracks from moving forward to what we deeply deserve, what we deeply desire, and to the fullest expansion of our soul, basically. So we just stay there, locked in that space. And then, we might be another year down the line, another 2 years down the line, look back in 10 years' time and go, oh my goodness, I regret not having made a move towards that further because I was paralysed by fear.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's part of our evolutionary makeup. Part of the reason we are where we are now in the world after centuries of evolution is because we have fear. We're actually hardwired to look for what could go wrong. What is the threat in the environment? Unfortunately, that doesn't always serve us well. It's good to identify potential threats and things that go wrong. But we tend to use our imagination, as Claire said, to then take it to the next level and look at the worst case scenario. What I want to start encouraging you to do is be realistic, be open to what can go wrong, be open to those threats in the environment, but then find a different way to deal with them and think about what could go right.
It is never actually the thing we fear. It's the same with worry. It's never as bad as we think it's going to be. It's our imagination. Like James said, we're hardwired to think of the worst case scenario. So it's about actually understanding that, bringing compassion to that, right? Actually knowing that you're not unlike everyone else. You're just exactly the same as every single person in the world, never has been, right? That we're hardwired to feel fear. But actually, like James beautifully put, we can learn how to dance with it so it doesn't make us inert, so that we can experience our potential, the potential that we are here to live in.
So should we crack on with these 12 tips? You will find these useful. The first one is separate reality from perception. What I mean by that, we just explored that. We often use our imagination to look at the worst case scenario. We'll make that fear, we magnify it in our minds. It can be overwhelming sometimes. But what if we choose to tell a different story around it instead? And we actually go, oh, what's actually really going on here? Get the facts, try and take the emotion out of it and just look at the facts. Place them over your feelings, and just write it all down and then go, is this fear really true? Is it really founded? Absolutely. Or am I just over-egging it?
Love that. Over-egging it. I love that phrase. That might
am
not
I
be...
over-egging the pudding?
Yes, that's a very British phrase, I think. Over-egging it. There we are. That's one for our international fellows. Number 2 is identify the trigger. So we always talk about this. This is really, awareness is where your power lies, right? We cannot change what we do not know. So understanding and recognising our triggers. Figure out what it is in a situation that triggers the fear in you. What is it that triggers that fear? Because learning how to identify that, learning when it comes up, is your first step to actually using some of the other things that we're going to talk about. So awareness is key. What is your trigger? When do you feel that fear? Is it a certain situation, a certain person, something you see on social media, whatever?
Yeah, this is useful to identify the trigger because often our fear can be quite broad. There might be a specific thing we're scared of or have a fear of, but actually, what our brains, our subconscious do is just like the whole general situation is scary. So we go actually get to the bottom of what the specific thing is. If we can get to that and identify it, then we can move forward.
Yes.
Okay, know where fear lives in your body, and I love this because fear will often have a physical result. We can feel it physically in our body. It affects different people in different ways. So identify where fear lives for you, and it might, depending on what the fear is, different fears might live in different places in your body. It might take the form of just a feeling of unease. It might be a feeling of like nausea, uncomfortable stomach. It might be an actual physical pain. You can start to identify where that fear is. There's a few things you can do. If it's like a pain or something, you can do stretches in that area. You can do movement in that area. The other thing you can do is like psychological exercise. You can visualize it. You can visualize where that pain is in your body. Give it a colour, give it a shape, and then move it out of your body. This is something we do with clients. So actually move it out of your body and throw it away.
Yeah, I use this a lot when I coach clients. It separates you from the fear. That's the most important thing. We think the fear is us. And it can really feel like it's really personally attached to us. But actually, we can separate the true self, the real story, from the fear. So like James said, what we do is actually ask clients to kind of give it a shape, give it a colour, make it smaller, move it outside your body, and then actually recognise that it's not part of you and that you are completely in control and completely capable of throwing that away and just getting it out of you. So that separation is really, really important. Number 4, love this one, as always, practice gratitude, right? So again, fear can't exist so much when you are in a place of gratitude. That again, they're opposing states. You can't be in gratitude and fear at the same time. So just creating a release from that fear at that time is really important. This is just a technique. You can go, oh my goodness, I'm feeling that fear again. I'm going to go into a state of gratitude. So write down 1 to 2, 3 things. 1 to 3 things that you are thankful for. It doesn't matter how big or small. It could also, what I would say is try and actually be grateful for how far you've come. Right, so that could be a really, really good way of soothing that fear, is be really grateful for the things that you have in your life, but recognise how far you've come and be grateful for those, because it's a real shift in mindset which really helps in time overcome fear.
Another one is listen to your inner voice.
I love this.
So this is quite interesting. We all have an internal dialogue, and often that internal dialogue will be very critical / hypercritical, right? We speak to ourselves in a way we wouldn't speak to a friend, even to a stranger. So just challenge that, because we often think, oh, that voice is us, and we don't question it. But it's not us, it's separate. We are allowed to question it. So monitor your inner conversation. Just go, oh, do I really want to be saying that to myself, about myself? Then remind yourself to speak positively about yourself. Remind yourself of your strengths. That's what Claire just said there. Remind yourself of good things. Linked with this is also listening to your gut. So, if we go into the physiology of this, our gut biomes where produce most of our neurotransmitters, which directly influence our mood, which is now, we can look with science and go, wow, our mood is actually heavily influenced, if not almost entirely, by the content of our gut.
Nuts.
Therefore, we've had this expression for centuries about listen to your gut, listen to your intuition. This is where it's coming from. So start to try and tune in to that feeling in your gut.
It's just such a thing. I find this so wonderful that we know this stuff scientifically now as well, because we have been told to cut off from that gut feeling, that gut instinct. That's not real. That doesn't exist. That intuition. But my goodness, now it's kind of been scientifically proven that we do have a gut feeling, that we do have an intuition, and connecting back to that and trusting yourself and knowing that it's safe to listen to that you do know that inside you, intuitively, instinctively, there is something about you that does know. And that is about coming back into contact with that. It's about reconnecting with that and actually, knowing that that is part of who you are. Yeah, love that one. It's me, isn't it?
It's
the next
your
one.
turn.
It's my one. We just looked at each other and I was like, is it me or is it not? So another one is create a new association. What's the best outcome? So this is a really, really important thing to do. Like, remind yourself that the feeling and this moment, the feeling of fear and the moment of fear will pass. What we tend to do again is we create the association and build up and over-catastrophize that association of the fear of what could go wrong in that situation if I took that step forward. But actually, what we fail to ask ourselves, and this is the switch, is focus on the positive outcome of the situation, right? Not what could go wrong, fear-based, but what could go right. Coming from a place of love, like excitement, of adventure. So actually switching the perception around that and creating a new association, instead of just going for the fear of what could go wrong, think about what could go right.
Love that one. Related to that, is start to look at the glass half full, right? This again is now backed by research from the field of positive psychology. People who expect better outcomes in life, who are optimists, experience better outcomes in life. So be very clear, it doesn't mean that bad things aren't going to happen, but they're also more able to deal with them. They're more resilient for them. So we want to start switching to that more positive state of mind. So here's one thing you can do. If you have got a recurring negative or fearful thought, just focus on that one thought and work on reversing it. Like, just turn it to a positive. Over time, then, you're embedding that to a habit. And the more you can practice, like anything, practice makes perfect. Consistency wins the day. Just start to practice that positive thinking. Just catch yourself. Go, I'm having a negative thought there. Do I want that negative thought? No. Well, let's turn it around.
Absolutely. Repetition is mastery. We said that a lot yesterday to someone. So this is a funny little one.
It was in our boxing class, wasn't it?
It was in our
boxing
boxing
class.
class.
Punching me on the nose and saying, repetition is mastery.
I have to say this, I'm so proud. I won the burpee challenge out of everyone.
You got to go first when you were fresh. I was at the end of 8 rounds.
Look, a poor loser. It's you're being a sore loser, right? I won out of everyone the burpee challenge.
I won out of everyone.
The guy actually said, "Oh my goodness, we've got a right competitive one here." I was like, "Yep." So the next one is this is a funny one, right? But it will work to actually take the power out of the fear, right? Increase the fear. What do we mean by that? That's just a weird one, right? Increase the fear. So actually a level of fear is good. Sometimes we can, which is really important to say actually, sometimes we can confuse fear with excitement. Sometimes they're actually, what you can do, again, it's about switching perceptions. Think about, hang on a minute, that feels like fear, but actually, is it a little bit like excitement? Because they go hand in hand, right? So just wanted to say that. That's not one of the tips, by the way. I'm going a bit off piece. The other one is like increase the fear. So, okay, what we mean by this is take it to extremes, right? If you could take this fear, double it again. How extreme and ridiculous could you make that fear look?
Exactly.
How extreme and ridiculous you make it look. And then it kind of becomes a little bit humorous. Because you realise just how much you can, with your imagination, over-catastrophize this. And actually, it's about bringing lightness to the situation. It's about taking the power out of it. So just have a little play around with that one. Double it, and go, actually, that's just ridiculous. Look, see what my mind can do if I really let it ride.
Exactly. I love that one. It's a really good one. Practice future rehearsal. Again, this is something that we do ourselves and do with our clients, which is, see yourself overcoming that fear. See yourself achieving your goal. See yourself as successful. When we do this, we want to get into a state where we obviously focus on that future, but make it as vivid as possible. We want to engage as many of the senses. Again, MRI scans show that our neural pathways light up in the same way, whether we're having an actual experience or we're imagining, if we can make that imagination rich enough. So really, when you're seeing yourself, experiencing yourself in the future, think about the sights, the sounds, the smells, the touches, how you hold yourself, how people are reacting to you. And most of all, think about the emotion you're feeling of having achieved your goal, overcoming that fear.
Love that one. This is a really sweet one. Number 10, have a safe space. Like a mental safe space as well, where you can go to, where you can retreat to, that is only yours if you can. James is about to make a joke here. He's laughing. What were you about to say? No, but it's probably best he doesn't say what he was about to say, but I saw a little smirk come across his face. Have a safe space and a safe mental space. Now, this can help soothe when you're going into that kind of slight panic and overwhelm of fear and you feel like it's really, really overcoming you. It's really, really helpful to go to a place that might make you feel a bit safer, a bit soothed. It could be going to, being outside, being in nature. It could be a room. It could be anything. And also I would add to this, actually having a ritual that you do that kind of soothes your subconscious mind, soothes that fear. So it could be, when you feel that fear and you're triggered, going and having like a certain ritual that helps soothe you. It could be something like doing a little bit of a guided visualization. It could be writing out some affirmations. It could be pulling an oracle card, for example, which is what I do sometimes to soothe myself. It could be anything. It could be some tapping, some EFT, anything, like a little ritual to start soothing yourself, but doing it in a safe environment when you can't be disturbed, where you can just get yourself grounded and connected back to the truth of who you really are.
Love that one. Start getting used to taking measured risks. So this isn't about going out and doing crazy stuff and anything that's dangerous to yourself or to others. But if you are finding yourself hesitant to take risks in life that will actually help you grow and move forward, just practice taking small steps. Take those little risks. And then over time, that will build your confidence to take more risks and get used to that feeling of taking risks. It will help you overcome the fear of taking those steps forward.
Absolutely. You grow in self-belief and self-trust as well. That's really, really powerful. Taking action as well. It's like taking risks, taking action, some small steps towards your goal. Embrace uncertainty. I love this. So the final one, number 12, is embracing uncertainty. The thing we can be sure about, every one of us, we can all be sure that nothing is certain.
I know.
That nothing is certain. We can create a level of routine in our life and perceived safety, right? But the truth of the matter is, we can never be certain about anything because life can change. Anything can change in an instant. We saw this a couple of years ago with the pandemic, right? Everything changed in a moment, in an instant pretty much. And we all had to adapt. And guess what? We adapted because we are adaptable beings. All of us are adaptable. So embracing uncertainty actually takes away that level of fear, knowing that you are adaptable, you are resilient, you can respond to change, and knowing that, it's always going to be slightly uncomfortable when there's uncertainty, when you're going towards something that you're not sure about, something that you've never had before, a goal, a dream. You know that there's some uncertainty around that, but knowing that you cannot be, we always say, you cannot be comfortable and grow at the same time. They're two opposing states. So embracing that uncertainty, embracing being uncomfortable helps that, soothe that fear, basically. And knowing, I'll just say, you are resilient. We are all resilient. We can embrace uncertainty and always know. Look back at what you've done in the last few years. Look back at all the times when you were uncertain. And now you're looking at the way forward and thinking, I'm uncertain again, I've got this fear around it. But you've done it before. So remind yourself of all those times you felt uncertain, felt the fear, but did it anyway, and it worked out. You were resilient. You made your way through it. It really helps soothe that fear.
So those are our 12 tips. And actually, these are things that we use ourselves and use for our clients. Like we said at the beginning, fear is a natural reaction. We all experience it. And it's about accepting that fear, but learning how to dance with it.
We all have that fear. Yeah, we all have that fear. Even the other day, there was something I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I shared it with James. I've got real fear around this. I'm not sure it's the right way forward. And, like James said, we do practice these things. They're really, really powerful. But some might resonate, some might not. Take what you want, leave what you don't want. And let us know how you found this one. We've really enjoyed it. It's been really great. It's been actually quite helpful, I think, to have a couple of weeks off and then come back really rejuvenated. So let us know if there's any topics you would like us to cover. As always, you can email us at team@themidlifementors.com.
Yeah, join our free Facebook community, the Midlife Mentors community. Loads of people in there. It's got really active now. Yay! So that's going really, really well.
Gorgeous.
Just wishing you a great week, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yes, we will. See you next week. We'll keep it up this time. Lots of love. Bye.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you, so drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.